Item number 1.
Third reading of an ordinance providing for the issuance of not to exceed $2,200,000 of notes by the city of Chillicothe, Ohio, in anticipation of the issuance of bonds for the purpose of paying the cost of acquiring and improving a building for municipal court use, including equipment, furnishings, and site improvements, together with all necessary appurtenances, and declaring an emergency. Third reading.
Roll call.
Ames.
Yes.
Bonner.
No.
Cross.
Yes.
Henderson.
Yes.
Lester.
Yes.
Malone.
Yes.
Patrick.
Yes.
Prohl.
No.
Trutchell.
Yes.
And that item passed 7 yes, 2 no. Number 2.
Third reading of an ordinance authorizing the mayor to enter into a contract to purchase real property located at 89 to 95 East Main Street, Chillicothe, Ohio, from Globe Furniture Company and Ohio General Partnership for the purchase price of $1,150,000 in order to relocate offices and facilities of the municipal court and declaring an emergency. Third reading.
Roll call.
Ames.
Yes.
Bonner.
No.
Cross.
Yes.
Henderson.
Yes.
Lester.
Yes.
Malone.
Yes.
Patrick.
Yes.
Prohl.
No.
Trutchell.
Yes.
And that ordinance passed 7 yes, 2 no. Number 3.
Third reading of an ordinance appropriating $42,000 for the Chillicothe Police Department to pay the Ross County Jail for prisoner expenses and declaring an emergency. Third reading.
Roll call.
Ames.
Yes.
Bonner.
Yes.
Cross.
Yes.
Henderson.
Yes.
Lester.
Yes.
Malone.
Yes.
Patrick.
Yes.
Prohl.
Yes.
Trutchell.
Yes.
And that ordinance passed unanimously. Number 4.
Second reading of an ordinance amending section 123.021 of the Chillicothe Codified Ordinances and declaring an emergency. Second reading.
Number 5.
Second reading of an ordinance prohibiting parking on the south side of Neal Avenue between Maple Avenue and South Sugar Street. Second reading.
Okay, and number 6 is not being read. Number 7.
Second reading of an ordinance amending section 2 of ordinance number 35-09 as it pertains to a part-time temporary assistant within the Human Resources Department and declaring an emergency. Second reading.
Number 8.
Second reading of an ordinance authorizing the relocation of a portion of North Plaza Boulevard and authorizing the mayor and safety service director to accept and convey certain parcels of real property, to enter into temporary easements with the fee holders thereof, and to enter into agreements terminating leasehold interests in certain parcels with lessees as needed for the purposes of relocation of a portion of the roadway known as North Plaza Boulevard and declaring an emergency. Second reading.
And number 9.
First reading of an ordinance enacting section 1511.05 of the codified ordinances of the city of Chillicothe entitled Obstruction of Fire Hydrants. First reading.
Number 10.
First reading of an ordinance accepting and appropriating the sum of $1,000 received from the Fraternal Order of Eagles, Chillicothe area number 600 and declaring an emergency. First reading.
Number 11.
First reading of an ordinance appropriating $11,375 for the end of year 2009 budget and declaring an emergency. First reading.
Mrs. Henderson.
Move to waive the 3-read rule, please.
Second by Mrs. Ames. Roll call on the motion to waive the rules.
Ames.
Yes.
Bonner.
Yes.
Cross.
Yes.
Henderson.
Yes.
Lester.
Yes.
Malone.
Yes.
Patrick.
Yes.
Prohl.
Yes.
Trutchell.
Yes.
And that motion passed. Roll call on the ordinance.
Ames.
Yes.
Bonner.
Yes.
Cross.
Yes.
Henderson.
Yes.
Lester.
Yes.
Malone.
Yes.
Patrick.
Yes.
Prohl.
Yes.
Trutchell.
Yes.
And that ordinance passed unanimously. Number 12.
First reading of an ordinance appropriating the sum of $46,000 to pay the fire pension fund payment and declaring an emergency. First reading.
Mrs. Henderson.
Move to waive the three-read rule.
That's second by Mr. Prohl. Roll call on the motion to waive the rules.
Ames.
Yes.
Bonner.
Yes.
Cross.
Yes.
Henderson.
Yes.
Lester.
Yes.
Malone.
Yes.
Patrick.
Yes.
Prohl.
Yes.
Trutchell.
Yes.
And that motion passed. Roll call on the ordinance.
Ames.
Yes.
Bonner.
Yes.
Cross.
Yes.
Henderson.
Yes.
Lester.
Yes.
Malone.
Yes.
Patrick.
Yes.
Prohl.
Yes.
Trutchell.
Yes.
And that ordinance passed unanimously. Number 13.
First reading of an ordinance appropriating $13,398.50 for expenses related to the Nina Gardens Sewer Project and declaring an emergency. First reading.
Number 14.
First reading of an ordinance appropriating $650 to purchase a washing machine for Fire Station 4 and declaring an emergency. First reading.
Number 15.
First reading of an ordinance appropriating $1,104.61 to purchase a new computer for use in the Civil Service Commission office and declaring an emergency. First reading.
Number 16.
First reading of an ordinance creating section 137.21 and repealing section 121.05 of the codified ordinances of the city of Chillicothe. First reading.
And number 17.
First reading of an ordinance amending section 917.06 of the codified ordinances of the city of Chillicothe and repealing ordinance number 27-06. First reading.
Okay, that does conclude our legislation. Before we adjourn, I just wish to basically make a statement and just say thank you to those that sent notes and cards of condolences for the passing of my mother last week. I appreciate that very much. Thank you. That does conclude our legislation. Mrs. Malone.
Move to adjourn.
Move to adjourn. Second by Mrs. Lester.